English is a complicated language, and it's hard to learn and use it perfectly, even for native speakers. Hello and welcome everyone, this is Minu at Anglo-Link. It is inevitable that we develop mistakes along our language journey. There is no shame in that. All we need to do is to become aware of these mistakes and correct them slowly and surely until they go away. So in this lesson, we're going to look at some common mistakes that I hear and see from native speakers around me, and see if you can figure out what they should have said or written instead. So when you're ready, let's look at the first mistake, which is a spelling mistake. So number 1, he wasn't happy about losing the match. What's the spelling mistake in this sentence? The mistake is obviously losing. Losing is spelled L-O-S-E when it means fail to win. The other word, loose, notice the difference in pronunciation as well, lose and loose, means not tight. For example, a loose shirt. Right, let's look at spelling mistake number 2. I like the style of this shirt, but I don't like its color. What's the spelling mistake here? This is a very common spelling mistake where its should be spelled without the apostrophe. Its without the apostrophe means belonging to an object, whereas its with the apostrophe is the contraction of it is. So in this sentence, we're talking about belonging to the shirt, so we should use its, I-T-S, no apostrophe. Right, let's look at spelling mistake number 3. CDs came out in the 1980s. What are the 2 spelling mistakes here? The mistakes are again to do with the use of apostrophe. You know that the plural doesn't have an apostrophe. So 1 CD, 2 CDs. If you use the apostrophe, you want to say, like we saw before, belonging to the CD. For example, the CD's, apostrophe S, title. Let's look at spelling mistake number 4. You should have been more careful. You probably saw that straight away. Of doesn't belong here. The word that belongs here is have. You should have been more careful, but contracted. You should have been more careful. Now, of and have sound very, very similar, and that creates the spelling mistake with native speakers. And here are some other common native spelling mistakes because these words sound exactly the same. Your, here, there, to, and whose. So remember these and make sure you don't make them yourself. Right, now let's look at some common grammar mistakes I hear from native speakers around me. Here's the first one. There's some strawberries in the fridge. What's the mistake and how would you correct it? I'm sure you got that. Strawberries is a plural noun, so we shouldn't say there is, but there are. Use there is only with singular nouns and with uncountable nouns. For example, there is only 1 strawberry left, or there's a lot of bread left. Let's look at common mistake number 6, another grammar mistake. And I have 2 sentences here for you, so we're looking for 2 mistakes. Look at the amount of cars in the car park today. There were less cars yesterday. Take your time, see if you can find the 2 errors here. The mistakes again are to do with singular and plural nouns. Cars is a countable and plural noun. Therefore, you shouldn't say amount, you should say number. Look at the number of cars in the car park today. And also, it's not correct to say less cars, we should say fewer cars. Words like amount, little, or less should be used with uncountable nouns. For example, traffic, amount of traffic, little traffic, less traffic. Let's have a look at number 7. If I would have known, I would have told you. How would you correct this? I'm sure you noticed that this is a conditional 3 sentence. So, what should we put in the if clause? Past perfect. If I had known, I would have told you. However, don't be surprised if you hear this occasionally in certain American dialects. Okay, let's look at mistake number 8, which will surprise you. Have you took the letters to the post office? Yeah, I done it yesterday. Can you spot and correct the mistakes? There are 2 of them. I'm sure that was an easy one for you because you've been memorizing the list of irregular verbs for many years. Obviously, it's not have you took, but have you taken, and not I done it yesterday, but I did it yesterday. So you may be surprised to hear from me now that even native speakers sometimes confuse the past simple and the past participle forms of irregular verbs in English. Okay, moving on to mistake number 9. John and me never used to fight. Spot the mistake here. I hope you got this one. The correct answer is John and I never used to fight. You know that I is the subject pronoun and me is the object pronoun. In this sentence, John and I are in the subject position. Now, if John and I were in the object position, obviously you would use me. For example, he spoke to John and me yesterday. And finally, number 10. We was at the cinema last night. I'm sure you spotted and corrected that straight away. It's not we was, but we were. Obviously, you, we, they were, and I, he, she, it was. I was very surprised when I heard some of the native speakers in the area where I live using was for all pronouns. Right, that's the end of the lesson. For lessons and exercises on all topics, please visit my website Anglo-Link.com. And please remember to subscribe and allow notifications to know when my next lesson is online. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye for now.